Hi, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Luchia Dragos, and I have with me today a super special and exciting guest, Lashandra Coleman, and she is the author of The Win-Win Approach, the formula to overcome life's challenges. Aren't we all look for a formula? I don't know about you, but certainly I am. And I'm so excited to bring her to the show. So let's just say hi to Lashandra. Hi, Lashandra.
Hi, hello everyone. Thank you so very much, Miss Luchia Dragos, for having me on your show. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you.
You're very, very welcome, and I'm honored. So I read the book last year, yes, 2017, and I was really, really intrigued and inspired by your story. And I really wanted to meet you, and I'm so happy that we have a chance to do this. I don't want to give the book away or your story, but just for the viewers to share a little bit about yourself, can you just share a little bit about your story, your background, where you grew up, and just a little background story of who you are?
Okay. As you stated previously, my name is Lashandra Coleman, and I am an author and speaker. And I'm originally from Niagara Falls, New York, but I reside in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, I was born and raised in Niagara Falls, New York. I was born into poverty. I was born into a lot of extenuating circumstances. I was born with medical deformities and whatnot. And I faced a lot of challenges growing up as a kid, a lot of self-esteem issues, bullying, just a lot of things like that. And as a result of the low self-esteem and all the factors that was going on around me, I ended up becoming a product of my environment at a young age. So I ended up actually dropping out of school in the 7th grade, believe it or not, 7th grade. And from there, I ended up getting into some trouble, making some poor decisions. I ended up being incarcerated by the age of 17. So by the age of 17, I was incarcerated. I was locked up in a cage while my peers was walking across the stage, accepting degrees and going in that direction of what they wanted to be. And that really affected my life. I spent, some time incarcerated, and, during that time I spent incarcerated, I was blessed enough to discover the great legendary Mr. Les Brown during one of my darkest periods in my life. And that's when, my life began to take a change after I tapped into that life-changing information.
I want to certainly talk about Les Brown. I know how mentors are powerful, and certainly Les Brown in your life. But going back now, you mentioned self-esteem a few times. Looking back, what do you think was the core reason that, like you said, you were incarcerated and you dropped out of school? Would you say that self-esteem, or it's a combination of other reasons that you might, looking back now, recognize?
Yes, looking back now, the reason why I feel like I was experiencing so many self-esteem issues is a result of, my physical condition. I was born with a neurological condition, so I have birth deformities. And, the kids used to tease me and pick on me, and teachers used to single me out. And, I could never take gym class. And I was told, oh, you never will be able to run. And, don't do this, don't do that. And, that had an impact on me. It made me feel as though, I was different. I'm not the same. And it made me feel as though, I wasn't special. And it kind of made me go into a shell. And just that, like, from my peers in school, and then my at-home environment, it wasn't a very nurturing environment because my parents were abusing drugs, so we didn't get that necessary attention that we needed. So, it was a void there at all. It was a void there as well. So, I was just dealing with a lot of issues, and, I didn't have anybody to talk to. I didn't have mentors in my life back then. And so it caused me to have some really, bad self-esteem issues.
So you were in that darkest times of your life, and then you met Les Brown. What happened? How did that happen? And I know you experienced change after that, but was it sudden? Like in a moment you decided, okay, my life has to change, or it was after meeting him? How that all change happened?
Well, just how the Les Brown situation came about, and I'm gonna take you back first before I go there. So I was younger, going through some things, and as I stated, I dropped out of school in the 7th grade, and then once I got out of jail, I ended up going back into the same environment because nothing had changed. And then I became pregnant with my child. And that's the first time I felt as though my life had any purpose, is when, I became pregnant with my child, because I didn't want my son to experience that same hurt and pain that I experienced. I didn't want him to go through those same setbacks and disappointment. I didn't want to subject my son to that same environment. He was worth it. He meant more to me than that. So I made a conscious decision to, stop the lifestyle that I was living and make a change for the better. And upon doing so, I did that, moved out of my own neighborhood, changed my lifestyle, and I made a commitment to my higher power that I would not engage in those type of activities and behaviors any longer. And, times got rough, and I received a phone call from someone, and they told me, I have some money for you. Come on, come and get the money. And I said, I'm not involved in that lifestyle anymore, but I'm going to come and get the money. And once I went out there, the guy ended up, setting me up, and I ended up going to jail. And instead of, that wouldn't have happened had I followed my commitment I made to my higher power not to, indulge in that type of lifestyle anymore to any capacity. But I went out there and I did that, and I went and I became incarcerated. And so the judge, and let me just back up too, if I kept the faith, the very next day after I got arrested, I received the $4,000 refund check, and I couldn't even cash it because I was incarcerated. So, that was a lesson for me. Like, God told me if I kept my faith, I would have had the money that I needed. I didn't have to go bite the bait and, go to my past lifestyle to get it. But needless to say, I was incarcerated, and and I ended up, just going backwards in life. But I still, I actually was enrolled in college at the time, and I still attended college, and my professors was going to court for me, advocating, recommending alternative sentencing. But the judge said, no way. He didn't want alternative sentencing. He wanted to teach me a lesson. So he sentenced me to 3 to 6 years in a New York State prison. So, I went to prison, and upon getting there, I was eligible for a program. It was a boot camp program. And so because of my physical condition, they told me that you're medically disqualified. You cannot complete this program. Medically, you can't do it. And so, I had 3 to 6 years. So the program was a 6-month program. So I went to, writing the superintendent, the director, anyone who would listen, begging them and pleading for an opportunity to complete this program. I told them I can successfully complete this program because I have a 3-year-old son at home that needs me. I have a 3-year-old son that wonders, where's his mommy at? Why is his mommy not coming back? I'm remorseful for my mistake. Please give me the opportunity to, participate in the program. And they gave me the opportunity to participate in the program, thank God. And once they gave me that opportunity to participate in the program, I was halfway through the program, and as I stated, it was extremely physically intense. They had us, carrying beds on our back. We was waking up doing physical exercise every morning, 4:00 a.m. Like, it was just a fast-paced day. And it was really wearing down on my body. And my body was at its breaking point. And so, to be honest, I was a weekend away from quitting. I had put in my head that I'm going to quit next week. I'm done with the program. It's just too much. I'm going to go and do my time. So it was a Tuesday, and our platoon was going to the library, and we went to the library, and I went to the back of the library, and back then it was the cassette tapes. And I was looking on the shelf, and I had the headphones. And so I was going through these tapes, and I discovered a Les Brown tape, and it was The Courage to Live Your Dreams. And I never heard of Les Brown, didn't know who he was, didn't know, his message or anything. And so I ended up listening to the tape, and I listened, and I'm listening, and I'm loving it. And I started writing down everything he's saying verbatim. And, he started filling my spirit in a way it's never been fed before. He started telling me that I had potential. Nobody ever told me I had potential prior to that. He started telling me I had greatness within me. He started telling me that I can, shoot for the stars and just do whatever I want to do, or be wherever I wanted to be, or go wherever I wanted to go. And he started, enlightening me on all of these type of principles and whatnot. And I believed him. And he kept me so engaged. I wanted to stay in the program just to go back that next week to finish listening to that cassette tape that I was listening to.
That's incredible. There's a saying that it says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Yes.
So probably that was the time that you were ready to really take in that message and process it that way, because you said they told you when you were a child that you would not be able to do the physical activities that other people do or walk, right? But despite all that, you were able to do that. But for some reason you did not, and not for some reason, a lot of us don't give credit to ourselves. So we don't see it. Oh my gosh, I accomplished this despite what they say that I will not. But then something happens like Les Brown, and you believe that message because you're ready to believe it. That's such a great story.
Yes, that's all that happened is, like what I believe, it changed what I believed about myself. Like he just started empowering in my mind and helping me to change my mindset in a way that I hadn't been exposed to. And so I was very intrigued, and I loved the message and whatnot. And so we had a motivational speaker come into the boot camp program. And they had a message that was same and similar. And when the guy was sitting there, talking, it just came to me. I'm like, this is really what I want to do. Like, this is what I want to do. Like, I just saw the power in the message that Mr. Brown had and how it changed my mind. Like, I kid you not, when I put my mind to something, I do it. And when I tell you I was going to quit, that next week I was quitting. It was no turning back. So those inspirational messages are very powerful, and that's why I feel like I have a duty to help people in their darkest hours as well. I would like to be that voice to help and just help to save lives and change mindsets and
just like you had that for yourself with Les Brown, you want to do that for others. I want to read a little passage, just a sentence from your book. I had to learn how to respond versus react to situations in life. How long did it take you to learn to manage that? Because I know, even from my own experience, I had very, very rough upbringing. I grew up in the communist Bulgaria, but very rough upbringing. And I know I was a lot of reactive.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to start to respond versus to react. So I'm wondering, how long did it take you? And was it like a smooth ride? And what did you do to help you do that?
It wasn't like, first of all, for me to even recognize it was going on, I was like, oh, I read that book. It was Emotional Intelligence 4.0 or yeah, 4.0. And I didn't realize like until he'll give a situation of a person that has emotional intelligence and then a situation for a person who lacks it. And I always found myself at the end of the person who lacked the emotional intelligence.
That was me when I was reading those books.
Yes, that was so me. So I had to really accept it first and foremost. I had to take responsibility for, this is my reaction. And I don't have to react to every situation. I have a choice to respond to some things, or I don't even have to respond to some things.
So first is to recognize it in yourself, because if you don't recognize it, you can't change it, right?
Correct. The first step is recognition, just having awareness of the situation and just, really wanting to change it. So once I recognize the situation, I said, I have to change it because I'm better than this. And I just know that, my responses could be a lot better. So, it's just something I wanted to do. But some things that I do is like count to 10. And sometimes, we can, like, you have to make yourself not say anything. I don't care if I have to literally bite my tongue at times. That's what I do.
And I know those moments. It is hard. It gets easier, but it is hard in the beginning. And
yes.
What do you do? So you talk a lot in the book about the positive vision that you have to keep in your mind, right? And a lot of us are conditioned to criticize ourselves, think negative thoughts, and so on. And it's a whole this different process. But what do you do in a moment that you doubt yourself, that you experience these negative thoughts? Do you catch them? What do you do to release them? How do you move past those self-doubts if you still have them?
Yes, we have to put a lot of time and effort into really acknowledging when we're having those thoughts and try to counteract it with a good thought. And if you think something, you're telling yourself, oh, I can't do this. Yes, I can do it, and I'm going to do it. Speak it verbally. You have to tell yourself it because, it is a lot of time. Like, we all have negative self-defeating thoughts. They're going to creep upon all of us. But our job is to fight back. Don't accept it. Don't accept that little voice. When you hear that little voice creeping up on you, telling you, you're not nothing, you can't do something, speak out loud. Say it as an affirmation. I am great. I am who my higher power called me to do. I can do all things. And you just, even if you have to, physically, verbally, just say it, and you really have to believe it, but you cannot succumb to it. You can't not do anything. You have to fight back. You have to fight for that great vision. Just like you might have bad thoughts. Everybody sit around and think of bad scenarios and they expect the worst thing to happen. No, I intentionally program myself to sit there and think of good things and good thoughts. It doesn't matter if I don't have the resources or a way to make these good thoughts happen. I'm still envisioning them. And not only am I envisioning them, I'm enjoying my vision. I'm laughing, I'm smiling, I'm feeling it, I'm smelling it. You have to just live in it for real.
So it is a decision. It's a decision that you make. It's not something that you wait that it will just happen.
Right. You have to proactively fight your thoughts back. Like, you have to tell yourself when you're feeling so down and out. And something that helps me out as well is keeping positive messages in front of me. I always listen to, 30 minutes at the least, but I'm listening to hours worth of positive messages per day. I listen to, motivational videos. I read books. Whether you're reading, something motivational every day, you have to keep positive messages in front of you, scriptures, whatever it is, and when you're feeling these bad thoughts, go put on your favorite song that'll soothe you and take you to that good place. But you have to have some strategies, and you have to have some tactics that will enable you to fight back.
I like the word strategy. So maybe put it in front of you, something that in case you, or whenever you feel, not in case, because we all have those moments. What to
Yes.
do. Because I've heard Tony Robbins say that we're the average of the 5 people we hang out with. And you grew up in a tough environment, and me too. And I know that the environment has huge influence. So sometimes as entrepreneurs or people working for ourselves, if we are more isolated. So I love the idea that, listening to inspiring messages, because we don't have sometimes people around us, or our family members or friends are not sometimes the most positive people. So I like that idea of having probably like a list of things that you can do to take you out of those negative spiral, thoughts.
Yes. Yes. I mean, it's something we have to do on a daily basis. I start my day off with daily affirmations, prayer, things of that nature, because it's important. Because just like saying advertisers and just, it's so many messages, bad messages that's put in front of us every day unconsciously to keep us in this certain space that have us weighed down and feeling defeated. So just like, people feel that it's so important to put these negative messages in front of us, we gotta know that it's extremely important to put positive messages in front of us as well. Right. It's just important. Because advertisers wouldn't spend all of this money with these commercials and all of this stuff. You know what I mean? If it wasn't significant, if they weren't trying to, program us for certain things. So, we're letting everybody program us for stuff we don't want. We have the power to program ourselves for a life that we want, for a life that serves us.
Take control of our lives and the choices we make, which brings me to my next question. So you mentioned the second time you went, that somebody called you and you went to make a deal, right? And then you were caught, right? So that is the temptation. What is, and you were not able to fight it, and you said, if I had the faith. But for people, even if it's not something like that, but different, the temptation, what is, how you fight temptations, and what is one way to do it? What do you do mentally?
Ooh, the thing for temptation for me, I would say for nowadays, it is that lesson. Remembering that lesson about what happened, because that's the realest thing ever. Like, had I, just kept the faith, but I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's difficult for some people to fight temptation because it's easier to do what's easy. But
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right, but that's not right. That's not right. It is easier actually to do what's right than the wrong thing. I'm telling you. Like, people think, oh, just because it's a quick fix, or whatever the case may be. But in the long term, the consequences is not worth. It's not worth you jeopardizing whatever you're jeopardizing. It doesn't weigh out. So, people just have to really think about it and feel and think about values. When they're thinking about temptation,
I like that. Values.
Yeah, okay. Like, what do I value this? Or what is my values on this? And what type of repercussions will result as a result of this decision that I'm about to make? What is the repercussions? So I think, you really gotta figure out, what's valuable to you and what's not.
So knowing yourself, because otherwise you have no chance to know your values. And so in your book, there are principles that I don't want to mention. I don't want to give away the book, but one of them, it's commitment. And why do you think people fail? It just, reading that chapter, it made me think, like, why some of us fail, some of us don't. What makes us fail?
For me, I feel like a lack of commitment is a primary reason why a lot of people are not able to reach their goals and dreams, because when things get tough, they throw in the towel, and they become disinterested when it gets tough, and they're
Like
not realizing.
if you were ready to give up, you said in prison, right? If you gave up, that your whole life would have been different. Would you
Yeah,
agree?
yeah, it would have. I was going to make a permanent decision for a temporary situation that I
I
actually
love
had
that.
enough strength to get through. I had enough strength to get through it. So, I was doubting myself, and, my physical condition was getting to me, but I truly had enough strength to get through it. But and that's like a lot of things. A lot of people, they set a lot of goals, and, they have weight loss goals. They want to buy a new home. And, well, first, if they have weight loss goals, when they get, a little bit too hungry, or, they get tired of working out, they're going to throw in the towel. If they have a home goal, you go and you sit down with the realtor, and they give you this long list of things that you need to get accomplished. You need to address your credit. You need to take care of things. And that list defeats them because they're not committed to it. They're interested in it. And there's a difference between interest and commitment. People are interested in stuff, but they're not committed to it, because people that are committed to it, they see their goals and dreams come to fruition because that level of commitment that they have, they're not going to stop until it happens. So I feel like people who say they're committed and don't reach their goals and dreams is a little bit, maybe just a little bit interested, because that commitment gonna carry you all the way to across the finish line.
And what are you committed? What is Lashandra committed?
Well, I am committed to helping to change lives. I am committed to helping to change mindsets and ignite spirits, and just to help people know that, you can do whatever you want to do. I don't care what happened in your past. You are not your past. You have your whole future ahead of you. So I'm committed to letting them know that you can bounce back. If I can bounce back, I'm a two-time convicted felon. I'm a person with a debilitating medical condition. I'm a person that grew up in poverty. I'm a person that dropped out of high school. Dropped out of school in the 7th grade, never even went to high school, proms, class days, pep rally, anything. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm committed to letting people know that anything is possible as long as you believe. And not only just believe, you have to have faith. You have to believe and put that work in with your dream, and it is real, and it can happen. The dream is real. It could come to fruition. I'm committed to letting people know that they can accomplish their goals and dreams.
If they believe themselves and they truly want it. And I love the principles that you outline, and I'm not going to give them away.
Okay.
People absolutely need to buy this book. It's incredible. And I reread it second time now, and with all my notes, but it's just really life-changing, because for someone who grew up also in a, I would not say dysfunctional, but it was all the country and the family,
Right.
the whole environment. I know that, it takes a lot to change things. And I know a lot of people are going through similar situations, and it's just that distinction between seeing yourself as a victim and seeing as someone who, I know I can do it, I will. And this book, it just gives you the roadmap to that you can. And
Yes.
it's absolutely. And I love you wrote, you have the power to create a new chapter. So are you living your new chapter? When did it started? Or are you starting a new chapter now? From now on, what is going on now?
Okay. Right now, I am starting a new chapter. I'm working on a workbook, because with the actual book, I want it to be a book that grade school children can read and things of that nature. So the book isn't that bad or inappropriate to where they can't, but I just want to make sure it's 100%. So I'm going to I'm working on that workbook to gearing it more towards school children, as a book that they can write in and keep notes and make it a journal, and just have, a activity log and just a self-esteem log and just different things like that. And I just want to make it more kid friendly. So I'm working on that workbook, and I'm just looking to promote the win-win approach, my book. I'm still working on promoting that. I have trainings coming up. Me and Les have some stuff scheduled for April. So I'm really looking forward to, going out to his hometown and working with him on some things as well. So I'm just
How that changed your life,
uh,
working with someone like Les? I mean, having him as a mentor.
yes. Oh man. I mean, it's been such a blessing because I went from envisioning this, just having this as a vision, you know, being, incarcerated, having this as a vision, then to having this, come true, and just his willingness to take me under his wing, and just, lead me down the right path and just give me all the tools and techniques I need to, be a speaker and just to go out and be a servant. Man, it's just such a blessing. And just the fact that it happened is a testament of anything being able to happen. Like, here I am, just little old me from where I'm from and whatnot, and to having, one of the world top motivational speakers, write the foreword for my book, mentor me, and, take me under his wing in the way that he did. So it's nothing but a blessing. It's a blessing.
Yeah. Why write the book? Why did you write the book?
Because I wrote this book because I know that people will benefit from it. They can benefit from it, the information that's in it. And I know if I had access to a book like that when I was going through my hardships, and I would have made some different decisions that'll better serve me in my life. And had I had someone exposing me to different concepts and principles, I would have been able to make some more positive decisions. So I feel like it's my duty to share information that I've gained with other people to help the upcoming generations, so they don't have to go down the same path that I went down. I did it for them. They don't have to do it. So I just want them to know that, this information is out here, and it's all to help yourself. People don't like to read. People don't like to read, but readers are leaders, man. You have to read.
I love that. My readers are leaders. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I had that question, but you answered it. Would you make different choices looking back now, but in the regrets? And I love that you put it in a book, because we sometimes think, we take our stories for granted, and we think, oh, I don't really have a big story. I mean, how my story can change other people's lives. But I would encourage everyone to write a book or share their story on a video, share their message, because our stories matters. And sometimes when we go through tough times, and let me know if you agree or not, when we go through tough times, sometimes we think we're the only ones going through that time. And it really helps when you hear someone else going to a similar situation, and you think, oh my God, I'm not alone in this. People have been there, done that, and they came out on the other side. Like you said in the book, you are focused on the light, so you're going towards the light.
Yes.
And I love the fact that you wrote the book, and with that, I would encourage other women to share their story and their messages, because our voices are powerful.
Yes. Thank you so much. And
Yeah.
I definitely encourage anyone who's watching, if you have a goal and a dream to write a book, go ahead and write it. I don't care if you have to start with 20 minutes per day. Just get started. You don't have to be great to get started, but you do have to get started if you want to one day be great. So I encourage you to just get started writing, and not just writing a book. That business you wanted to open up, if you wanted to go back to school, that new career path, whatever it is that you want to do, you still have time to do it as long as you have breath in your body. It's not too late. I'm here to help. I'm here to help however I can help. I'm here for you guys. So, and Luchia, she's here. She's been helping me out. You've been a blessing to me as well. I remember our first call. Was it a year or two ago?
A year.
Okay, a year ago, and just see how everything works out. I just feel so fortunate and blessed
Yeah.
that you are interviewing me, and it just shows just the power of the internet and just how networking helps out. You ladies or whoever you are, you're not in it alone. You have people. She's here for you. I'm here for you. And it's a lot of individuals that's out here that's willing to help you accomplish your goals and dreams. Just
Yeah,
get
the collaboration and networking and connecting, really making meaningful connections. One last question. How did all this experience, the good, the bad, the ugly, the everything, changed you the way you see yourself?
How did everything change me?
The way you see yourself. Do you see yourself differently than you used to see yourself?
Yes, everything changed me in the way that I see myself because, back in the day, I didn't see myself as a valuable person. I didn't see myself as significant in any type of way. I just was existing. And as a result of all my experiences and the hardships and the good, the bad, the ugly, I realized that I have a purpose. And I realized that I'm extremely valuable. And I realized that, um, I was left here for a reason because a lot of my peers that I grew up with, they're all deceased at very young ages. So it's not a coincidence that I'm still here. So everything that I went through allowed me to realize that it's not about me. It's not just about me. It's not about, how I could finish the race. It's about how many other people that I can help finish the race because it's a lot of people that's going through so many things and they're a lot of people, they're not here anymore. Everybody is not waking up every day. So every day that I'm fortunate enough to wake up and have breath in my body, I have a mission and a purpose to spread it. It's to spread my testimony and to share the mercy and grace that's been bestowed on my life. And I just see myself different as a valuable servant. And everything that I've been through in life has made me to realize that, I'm not a victim. I'm a victor and I'm a servant and I have a story to tell.
I
And
love
thank you
that.
for me to tell it. Thank
I
you.
love that. You're very welcome. If people want to find more about you or they want to purchase the book, where can they do that?
You can purchase the book online, and that's thewinwinapproach.com. And they can also follow me online on Instagram at thewinwinapproach.com as well. But I am on Facebook as author LaShandria Coleman. Yes.
Lashandria, thank you so much for being such a wonderful guest and such an inspiring story. And thank you for writing the book, honestly. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for your support as well. And I appreciate being a guest. And I do look forward to doing a lot more work with you this year. You have a blessed and prosperous and productive day, okay?
Thank you. Same to you.
You're welcome.
That's it for today's show. I'm Luchia Dragos, and I'll see you next time on the show. You can follow me on Facebook, Luchia Dragos, and the same on Instagram, Luchia Dragos. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.